Welcome to the Bosman Viewing, and today we're going to look at an obscure player. But before we get started, let's all remind ourselves about what this guy could do.
Whoa, clear out the room, I'm coming through, they wanna see what I'm about. Yeah, I got skills, do it for the thrill, I'm on a paper route. Extra, read about it, I'm today's trending topic. I put commas over bullshit, yeah, I put that on mamas. They tryna block all my blessings, they thought I lost for stepping. I bet on me and my team, ISO is what I'm repping. Put on for the whole city, yeah, I got them rocking with me. I bet on me and my team, ISO is what I'm repping.
Sending emojis, I'm blowing a pack of that OG. Don't be acting like you know me, and if you did, that's the old me. Winter time, rock a cold fleece, pocket fat, that's obese.
A groundbreaking American who had a habit of scoring important goals for club and country. It is Captain America himself, Clint Dempsey. Born in the United States, and more specifically in the state of Texas, Dempsey was raised in a small city called Nacogdoches, and this is where his love of football or soccer began, thanks to there being a large Hispanic population in the area where he lived who also played the sport. He would play in many adult leagues as a teen in either midfield or up front, along with playing for the Dallas Texans and Fulham University, often being a standout player. His performances and ability wouldn't go unnoticed, and in the 2004 MLS draft he was selected 8th overall to join the New England Revolution. This was going to be a significant jump up in terms of competitive football for Dempsey, but he adjusted in no time at all, starting 23 of 24 games in his first season and scoring 7 goals in the process. His contribution helped the Revolution reach the Eastern Conference Finals, and he was awarded the MLS Rookie of the Year. Over the next 2 years, Dempsey continued to improve and establish himself as one of the best players in the league, helping his club reach 2 MLS Cup finals in a row, where they unfortunately ended up in runners-up in both. It was at this point many European clubs started to take notice, and in January 2007 a record transfer bid was submitted and accepted for Dempsey, and he joined Premier League outfit Fulham. The reported transfer amount of around £2 million that Fulham paid made him the most expensive American export to the Premier League at that time, so there was a certain expectation aimed at Dempsey when he arrived. Upon joining Fulham, the club were already in a relegation battle, and he was brought in to help his new team stay up. He adapted quickly, and thanks to his performances and contributions, he played a big part in securing Fulham's place in the top flight for next season. Over the next few years, Dempsey would establish himself as one of the most important players in the Fulham first team, becoming their top goalscorer for 2 seasons in a row, and also helping his club reach their highest ever finish in the Premier League by securing 7th spot. This confirmed their qualification for the Europa League and earned Dempsey a new and improved long-term contract. The following Europa League campaign will go down as one of the greatest seasons and moments for both player and club. After fighting to reach the last 16 of the competition and being drawn to face Juventus, many expected him to exit at this point, especially after they lost the first leg away 3-1. However, on the return home leg, Fulham battled back and got the game level at 4 each, at which point Dempsey was brought on as a substitute. His impact was almost immediate, scoring a now legendary long chip shot from outside the box to win the game. At that time, it was reported that it might become the most famous goal in Fulham's history. Fulham and Dempsey were then able to make it all the way to the Europa League final, which they unfortunately ended up losing in extra time 2-1 to Atletico Madrid. Back in the Premier League, over the next few seasons, Dempsey would continue to impress, becoming the first American to score 10 goals in a single campaign, and being voted Fulham Player of the Season by the Fulham fans. By around 2012, there was a reported interest from other major Premier League clubs to sign Dempsey thanks to his performances, and it was at this time he chose to join Tottenham Hotspur. After completing his move to Tottenham and signing a 3-year deal with the club, he became the highest paid US soccer player of all time. He made an unorthodox decision upon joining Spurs and chose to wear the number 2 jersey, not usually associated with a player in his position, the same number he wore at Fulham University. He would score his first goal for his new club in a famous 3-2 win over Manchester United at Old Trafford, his goal becoming the eventual winner and helping Tottenham win at Old Trafford for the first time in 23 years. Due to the squad depth at Spurs during this time, along with the level of investment being spent on the squad, Dempsey was unable to make the same sort of impact he had at Fulham. It was for this reason that after 1 season he was allowed to leave, and he opted to move back to the MLS to join Seattle Sounders. He arrived in Seattle as one of their new designated players, and he chose to continue wearing his number 2 squad number at the club, Unfortunately, Dempsey initially struggled to impress in his initial run of games with the Sounders, with some citing the reason as a lack of match fitness or that other clubs were choosing to man-mark him out of games. This led to a surprise loan move back to his old club Fulham during the MLS off-season, where he played 7 games in 2 months and allowed him the chance to get back to his best. This decision paid off well for both Dempsey and Seattle, as he made an immediate return to form when he arrived back, linking up well with teammate Obafemi Martins and scoring 15 goals and getting 10 assists that season. The following year, however, would see Dempsey fined and suspended from both the MLS and US Open Cup, after he was sent off for a now infamous moment of ripping up the referee's notebook in protest that his teammate was being sent off in a game against the Portland Timbers. Having recaptured his form and composure for the 2016 MLS campaign, it was at this time that Dempsey was sidelined and diagnosed with an irregular heartbeat, which ruled him out for the rest of the season. After being given the devastating news, there was speculation that this diagnosis would end Dempsey's career. However, he was eventually cleared to play and return for the 2017 season, during which he was able to score 12 goals in 29 games, and he was awarded the MLS Comeback Player of the Year. After dealing with these recent health issues and citing a feeling of burnout, in 2018, Dempsey made the tough decision to retire from football. Now let's take a look at Clint Dempsey's international career. Dempsey was a part of the US national team setup from a young age, and he made his full international debut in 2004 in a game against Jamaica. He scored his first goal for his country on his 6th cap, scoring a header in a friendly match against England. Dempsey was then able to win a trophy with the US national team early on in his career, playing an important part in helping his country win the 2005 CONCACAF Gold Cup. He was then called up to the US squad for the 2006 World Cup in Germany, where he ended up being the only American to score in that tournament with a goal against Ghana. From here, Dempsey would also be a vital component in the squad that was able to defend and retain the Gold Cup in 2007. The US were able to qualify for the next World Cup in 2010, and Dempsey, along with Landon Donovan, were seen as the shining lights of that squad to try and progress as far as they could in the tournament. In their opening game of that World Cup against England, Dempsey was able to score the equalising goal of the game, thanks to a major goalkeeping error from England's Robert Green. This earned his country a vital point in the game and helped the US finish in first place in their group, the first time this had been achieved since 1930. Prior to the next World Cup, Dempsey would be named as his country's new captain and would go on to create history for the US national team. During that World Cup in a game against Ghana, he would score 29 seconds into the match, making it the fastest American goal scored in World Cup history. It makes him the first American to score in 3 consecutive World Cups. He would continue to represent his country over the next few years, helping the US win another Gold Cup and attempt to qualify for the 2018 World Cup. Dempsey would finish his international career with 141 caps, 21 assists and scoring 57 goals, making him the joint highest goal scorer in US history. Now for what Dempsey is doing since his retirement. Outside of his passion for football, Dempsey has always been heavily involved in the music industry throughout his life. Using the LA's Deuce, he's been a part of the hip-hop community for many years in Texas, even having one of his tracks, Don't Tread, be featured in a Nike advertising campaign. He has continued to create music since finishing with football, along with becoming involved in media and punditry for many major broadcasting companies. And I think many people will be in agreement, as long as Clint Dempsey is happy with his family and he stays involved in football in some capacity, everyone will be happy. We hope you enjoyed the video. This is the Bosman viewing. If you're new here, you should check out our other videos and content. And if you did enjoy this one, if you could thumbs it up, that'd be great. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you on the next one.